Good evening everyone, welcome to the Sir David Wallace building at the world-renowned Loughborough University. Tonight's game is between Switzerland and hosts England in Group B of the FIFA 2028 World Cup preliminary round. Two teams who know each other well, having competed twice against each other in the last 12 months, where England won here at Loughborough 5-1 last December and drew away 4-4 last April. This is a historic week for English futsal. Not only is it the first time England has hosted a competitive tournament on home soil, we also have the Lionesses playing their first fixtures in England later this week. With England and Switzerland tonight in Group B, they are joined with Northern Ireland and Sweden to complete the group, who earlier today played out an exciting opening game where Sweden grabbed a 3-2 win in the final stages of the game. I'm Sean Kitson, thank you for joining us, and tonight I'm joined by Louis Melville. Louis, how you doing? What are your expectations for tonight's game and England's chances this week?
Well, good evening Sean, good evening everyone, and as you say, we're back here in Loughborough for this World Cup qualifying group, and I think we've got to be quite optimistic. We saw the game this afternoon, you're right, it was an exciting game, but I think we saw that England have definitely got chances against those two teams, and tonight they're coming up against a Switzerland team very much in transition. Last time they played, João Pinto was the coach, and tonight we've got Miko Martic, who you know really, really well through your international connections and coach CPD, and I think with him there, we've got to just really see what they're bringing tonight. And also England, after that 3-1 game against Germany, we've got to sort of look at the lessons we've learned from that and where we can push on. And of course, one of the key players over the last few years for England's been Stuart Cook, who tonight will be on the coaching bench.
Yeah, there's some interesting rivalries, interesting names as part of tonight's game. You mentioned Michu there, former Finnish coach, former professional player himself many years ago, and he always talks about jungle futsal. Are you expecting a jungle on court tonight?
Well, I think looking at the crowd to start with, I think we've got an expectant crowd. It's building up. It's quite a nice atmosphere, and we saw this afternoon when Northern Ireland rallied how the atmosphere changed in here. So I think it's very much up to England to get this crowd on side really quickly and take the game to Switzerland.
Well, one of the things we'll try and do now is explain qualification for the World Cup, because there are quite a few stages to this campaign. So starting this week, the top two will qualify for main round, which will consist of 12 groups of 3 teams. From this, the winners and best 4 runners-up will progress to the elite round, and the remaining 8 runners-up from main round will play off for the final 4 places. At the elite round, 5 groups of 4 will be contested. The winners will progress to the World Cup in 2028, location still to be confirmed, and the best 4 runners-up will then play off for the final 2 positions. If you've managed to understand that, that's in the first time. You've done a better job than me and Louis. Quite a campaign ahead of these teams.
Yeah, I think we worked out there's possibly 5 rounds of games that teams have got to go through to gain one of the 7 berths for the 2028 World Cup finals. But the priority for England is match day 1, game 1, and we know that there's been a change with one of the England players. Even Cadet Borges has had to drop out, and Jack Tyson's come in.
Yeah, real sore news for Ivan, carrying an injury, but a great opportunity for Jack to make his debut. The Hartbury player, he's been in the programme for the last 12 months or so excited to see how he gets on tonight. Let's have a look at the starting lineups tonight. So for Switzerland, Philip Aranya's in goal, Elias Kagi, Alex Matos, Sabedin Jamalari and Evangelos Markoyanakis. And then for England, in goal, Jonathan Sims, Jamie Brooker, Harry Tozer, Jeffrey Adebafor and Richard Ward. And probably a special mention to, I'm sure we're allowed to call him Wardy online here, in terms of his return after almost 2 years out.
Well, I was down courtside, Sean, just before I came back up here having a chat with him, and he seemed really relaxed about it, and he was, you know, I think he was relishing the challenge. Obviously it was a horrible injury that he suffered in that game for Genesis, and he said himself, he said, I've worked really hard to get myself back in this position, I feel really good. And let's see what he can do tonight. I mean, he's got a great opportunity to start for England, and you know, he has been a key player for England over the years.
He has, and he certainly comes alive at preliminary round level in previous qualifying campaigns, going back over the last 10 years. And how important do you think his experience will be, certainly in these opening moments tonight?
Well, he's played in some big games for England, but also he's played in some big games for domestic level. You know, he's won titles, and he brings all that experience from domestic futsal into international futsal. And, you know, he's been part of that group of players with Liam Palfreman and Cookie. So I think he's got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders tonight, even though he's back in the squad fresh. You know, I think everyone does respect him as a player and as a person.
Probably worth also mentioning, hopefully we've got some first-time viewers watching futsal tonight. I know there'll be a number of the community also watching who are very used to watching internationals or the National Futsal Series or National Futsal League. But just so you know what you're in store for, so two lots of 20 minutes. It's stop clock, so when the ball goes out of play, so does the clock stops. 2 teams of 5, players can move anywhere around the court, there's no restrictions in that sense. Ball is returned in from the sidelines as a kick-in, so there's no throw-ins. We have corners as normal. Interesting rules from a goalkeeping perspective. If the ball gets shot wide or out of play, the goalie will play the ball back in with their hands. If they save a shot, they can play with their hands or feet. All the time though, under the constraint of 4 seconds. They have to play that ball back in within 4 seconds, which you'll see the referees tonight counting from kick-ins, corners, free kicks and goal clearances as well. Also, we have a foul count in futsal, so they have 5 team fouls per half. Every time you reach a foul after the 5th, we'll keep going back to the second 10 metre penalty spot, which is a free strike on goal, as well as your normal penalties if you're fouled inside the 6 metre D. Those are the sort of main rules. We'll certainly try and fill you in as different things happen throughout the game.
Well, just to pick up on that point, Sean, about the free kicks and the 5 fouls, we saw that this afternoon in the Northern Ireland-Sweden game, where Northern Ireland got to 5 fouls, and then there was a 10 metre penalty, which have to say was well saved by the Northern Ireland goalkeeper. But it can become a factor in a game, especially in a game where it's very, very close, which we saw this afternoon. Yeah,
it's a unique part of the game. In terms of, you might see 1v1 play, players trying to draw fouls, and it is decisive. You mentioned in terms of the 10 metres, but set pieces are a huge part of the game. You'll probably see around 80 to 100 set pieces tonight, with restarts from kick-ins, corners and so on. So you'll see a lot of set moves from teams tonight in terms of trying to take advantage of those moments. And we saw again 2 goals from Sweden, a corner in the first half, a kick-in late on that snatched the win from Northern Ireland.
Just talking from a performance perspective at international level, how much of your time is invested in the set piece and the restarts? Because we say sort of 25-30% of the goals are scored, but is that really sort of relate to the amount of time you actually spend in training?
I think there's two things to look at it. You've got the idea of having movements and patterns and different variables and options from those set pieces, but it's also how you design practice. So yes, we do spend a lot of time on set pieces, but I think we design practice so a lot of our practices will start with a set piece. It doesn't mean we're focused on the set piece, but we're always starting to think about it. And here the teams are going to come out now. Starting to feel the buzz around the crowd tonight, which is great.
We've definitely got at least 2 Swiss fans in with the cowbells down there. I think I remember them from last year as well. Proud moment there for Russell Goldstein coming out. Sean leading the team out.
Yeah, you can't underestimate Russell's impact as a leader on and off the court. Socially, he's brilliant for the squad, and he's really trying to bring this group together for this important week.
Please rise if you are able for the national anthems. First, the national anthem of England.
So there we have the national anthems. Let's look again at the starting lineup. So for Switzerland, number 1, Philipp Aranya in goal. Number 2, Elias Kaji. Number 7, Alex Matos. Number 8, Sabadin Jamalari. And number 9, the pivot, Evangelos Markoyanakis. And again for England, number 1, Jonathan Sim in goal. Number 4, Jamie Brooker. Number 5, Harry Tozer. Number 7, Jeffrey Adabufor. And number 11, Richard Ward, which is 4 of the same 5 that started against Germany. Obviously Richard Ward coming in for Ivan Cadet Borges.
Yeah, well, I think for England, Richard Ward he's going to want to start this game really quickly, try and get himself into the game. And he spoke to me about just getting the basics right, control the ball properly, make the passes, and then get into the spaces to help the team. So I think really these first opening minutes, Sean, are going to really be about the basics for England.
I think so. Look, we want to move on with our in possession game. That's the long-term plan. But our out of possession has to be red hot this week. Has to be right on it. Has to be really clean in how we set up. And I think that goes right from the start. And in terms of your referees tonight, number 1 referee from Slovakia, Ratislav Behancin. Number 2, Igor Jesezovic. And the 3rd official from Italy, Antonio De Mundo. And our timekeeper from England, Esther Perry.
So in these last moments, Sean, where you're on the bench there with the team, what are the sort of message you're trying to get out to them?
I think you'll just be trying to promote confidence within the players. There might be small individual messages in related to the starting lineup, small messages in relation to how you want to play this first 90 seconds to 2 minutes. The question I always ask my team is like, where do you want the ball in the first 2 minutes? Where do you want the ball? What tone do you want to create in terms of your behaviours? What intent do you want to show? And I think that's what they'll be talking about as a 4, as a 5 in terms of this starting group.
I also managed to catch a word with Eddie Amarin, who I was fortunate enough to be at St Mary's with, and he was just saying, well, I'm just desperate to get on the court now and get this. There's so much hanging around and trying to sort of fill their time, and although they've probably got stuff to do, they just want to get on court now and play.
Yeah, it's hard, you know, you only see them for the 2 hours, like tonight during match time. It's the other 22 hours, the mental preparation as much as the physical preparation, and they'll be ready, raring to go. It's a big moment, England kicking off as well.
Is that a big challenge during the day when you're just trying to keep them occupied and stay on task and on track?
Yeah, it's always the balance, isn't it, between trying to give them enough information to go out there and thrive as individuals and a team versus overload and stifling them. But I think, yeah, a lot of them are getting used to that now, and how they create such a strong social network in terms of game time, playing, recreational time, and of course rest and recovery. So it's England are going to kick us off from right to left, wearing all white, Switzerland in all red. Certainly watch out for number 2, Elias Kaji, very aggressive player, out of possession. Switzerland setting up in a bit of a 2-1-1 from the start by the looks of things in terms of their defence, second line cover.
Yeah, Alex Matos very quickly out there, Sean, to try and break that play up.
Well, just an interesting one. They've put the pivot, Markoyanakis, in the second line. I wonder if that's just to avoid him having to sprint back from that first line over 20-25 metres. Now in possession, he's gone into the pivot position. Matos with the ball over the top. Can't quite find Jamalari. England kick in. Tozer moves across to take the kick in.
England setting up very much in a 3-1, Sean, here.
Yeah, looking to play early into the pivot. Can they secure? There's the industrious Kaji with the shot. They're going to have to be tight on the ball, England, tonight. It will be a little bit messy at times. That's how Switzerland want to make it. We've spoken about this kind of jungle futsal, and England are going to have to be brave on the ball, secure. Well played from Richard Ward. First free kick of the night. As we spoke about earlier, 5 team fouls. That's Switzerland's first foul of the evening.
Yeah, I think Richard Ward just asking the referee there about the afters there from Marko Yanakis.
I suppose that's the risk with the way Switzerland are going to play very aggressive out of possession on those individual duels. They are going to risk giving those fouls away.
I mean, already this seems a very different game to what we had this afternoon with the pressure.
Another strike from Kaji. Strong left-footed player. Matos to take the kick in. Tozer on the break. We saw in the first few minutes in Germany, England scoring on the counter-attack and transition, and I guess with such a strong press at times from Switzerland, if it breaks down, England will be able to potentially show threat on the counter-attack again.
So we get a first chance here, Sean, to have a look at the set pieces we spoke about in the pre-match.
Switzerland with the press from the kick-in, regaining possession. Matis to Jamalari. Jamalari to Kaji. Bring in Aranya. Aranya goes a little bit longer to find Marko Yanakis.
Yeah, we just need to just maybe tidy up the passes a little bit there, Sean. It just left a little bit short.
Yeah, it's going to be really important. Good weight and accuracy on those passes. And trying to break that 2-on-1 defence might take a little bit of time. They might just need to adjust their positioning to find the spaces and the opportunities to play through. Really big role for Richard Ward. Mixing it up, coming short here. Tozer down the line. You just noticed there Richard Ward just coming short into that little bit of a false pivot position. I think that variety might be key for England tonight to keep that defence guessing from a Switzerland point of view.
Is that to really just try and compress the play there and then open up the space in behind?
Yeah, I think we've highlighted that they're going to sort of play with that 2-1-1 and how we draw out that second line of defence and looking at different ways to do that. Sometimes they might go longer, sometimes they might come a bit shorter and flatter. England making changes. Oncoming Jordan Edge, Russell Goldstein, Tyler Cook, Eddie Amarin, playing as a 4 here.
That's a brilliant save there from Johnny Sim there. Vital interception.
Oh, Tyler Cook skipping past Di Francisco. Switches the ball to Jordan Edge. Just noticed a little bit of that technical quality from the highly rated Tyler Cook there.
Dare I say, a bit of a chip off the old block with that little lifted pass.
Might even have better feet.
You can tell him that.
Yeah. No, it's good, excellent play. It's so important to eliminate a player 1v1. Number 5, Alex Garcia's gone down there.
Yeah, I think it was just a coming together with Eddie Amarin. There was some contact, but I think it was 50-50.
And again, for first-time viewers, futsal, certainly international level, is a very physical game. There's so many 1v1 duels around the court. A lot of impact, a lot of knocks. Arpegas restarting the game. Number 17 for Switzerland. Little back heel down the line. And a shot from Lanzendorfer. I think it is a corner. Deflection. Russell Goldstein sliding in, deflecting out for a corner.
Yeah, he did a good job there, Russell Goldstein, to match Landsdorfer. He's a pretty nippy winger on that left-hand side.
Another shot fired in at Johnny Sims near post. Well saved. number of left footers in the Switzerland team. Testing early on. Oh my word. There's a 2v1, Amarin, edge. Oh. Just couldn't quite finalise. A fantastic early chance for England. Breakaway for Switzerland. Possession changing hands quite quickly here between the two teams. Both teams just trying to find some rhythm in possession.
Yeah.
Both teams pressing quite aggressively. Another transition for England. And a block from number 5, Alex Garcia.
I think we just need to make a note. Russell Goldstein on that block. He was actually bleeding from the mouth and asking the referee on our side to stop the game, but the game continued. He's swapped now with Liam Palferman.
We can see certainly a trend from Switzerland's attacking kick-ins, very direct. Oh, England with the goal, their own kick-in. A set piece, and I can say one we've been working on a lot of in the training ground, and Eddie Amarin finishing it off. A tidy finish into the top corner.
Yeah, some great work. Amarin played back there to Jordan Edge, a little 1-2 on the edge of the D, and then Eddie Amarin with a clinical finish there to put England 1-0 up after 3.5 minutes.
Great technique to hit high from the shot from around 6-7 metres, giving England a 1-0 lead. Can they gain a little bit of control in possession now? Ball's loose. Quite an open game, isn't it?
Yeah, good response.
First 4 minutes.
Good response from Switzerland there, but that was an absolutely brilliant finish. Just seen a replay of it on our slightly delayed stream that we've got, and absolutely fantastic finish from Eddie Amarin.
Another set piece. The pattern has been very much quite direct so far from Switzerland on these set pieces. Johnny Sim's been busy a couple of times. This time, number 14, Kevin Jagai, with a near post shot, deflected, another corner. Good pressure from Eddie Amarin, forcing Switzerland back. And a recovery run from Eddie. Certainly a feisty 30 seconds, 2 or 3 tackles flying in. I think England
Kevin Jaggi definitely left something on.
I think it's Liam Palfreeman.
Yeah, we can see afterwards as well. There's a little bit of an afters there, just out of our picture, but there was definitely something left on him, and a yellow card for him.
I just wonder if, because of the teams knowing each other so well from the last cycle, England winning here 5-1 at home, December 24, the 4-all away draw last April was also quite feisty towards the end. Again, sometimes knowing teams well, it just brings out some of these characteristics in the game.
One thing it has done is it's even lifted the crowd even more, Sean.
And I think that's important. Need the crowd to get into the game tonight. I think it's only going to benefit England. Great 1-2 between Harry Tozer and Jeff Adebufo down the right-hand side. They've got to be able to find those little gaps between the Swiss press, opportunities to play those 2v1s. You can see if they can break that first line, the opportunities to go and attack in the attacking half start to open up. England kicking, mid-court, right-hand side.
It was a strong challenge, but it was a fair challenge.
Tozer finds Brooker. Brooker in toward in the pivot position. Strong hold-up play. And those are probably the areas where the team will really want to work on this week. Good first phase of play, second phase of play. Can we secure, can we dominate the game for a little bit longer? But good early signs. Switzerland playing out. Good pressure again from England. Aranya collects the ball and goes long. Good aggressive start from England, good pressure at that first line. Harry Tozer, Richard Ward regaining possession.
England making those changes quite quickly. That's 3 line changes in the first 5 minutes. England obviously want to keep the tempo up, Sean.
Yeah, we want to be playing a high intensity game. They're going to be using the bench as much as they can. Good shape, good defensive structure at the moment from England. Regaining possession.
I think what England have managed to do here, Sean, is they've really sort of flipped the game on the Swiss. Suddenly they've upped the tempo, the pressure, and it's the Swiss that are struggling.
Yeah, very, very much so. I think, you know, like we said, as much as we want to develop the attacking play, you've got to get this out of possession. Right, I always say to young players, if you want to get on court, your out of possession has to be red hot. If you want to stay on court, that's when your attacking threats and your unique strengths start to come out. And they've started really well out of possession. Tempo's just dropped slightly. Switzerland regain possession. No foul from the ref. And Richard Ward's gone down in pain. Just toe poking the ball away before Marko Yanakis took his shot.
Looks like he's going to be okay.
I think he's okay, just slightly worried about the ankle there. He swapped with Russell Goldstein coming back on court. Switzerland on 3 fouls after 5.5 minutes. As we said, get to 5 team fouls. Any foul after the 5th is a 10-metre. It's the 6th foul, the 7th foul, and so on right to half time, and then it resets. England going longer, but with no luck. I tell you what, I tell you who's going to have a tough game tonight. By the
referees.
The referees.
Yeah, I think it's the louder they shout, the quicker they get these free kicks by the looks of it.
You can see how hard it is to control the middle of the court at the moment. Both teams pretty aggressive in their press. Trying to break that first line, not an easy task at the moment. Jamilari over the free kick. Safely collected by Johnny Sim. England back in the 4-0. Edgy, Jordan Edge with a little heels.
Doing that as well, Sean, does that really help disrupt the Swiss, the way they have to set up out of possession?
Yeah, I mean, I think variety's key. You can't just have a plan A, try and have a plan B or plan C. And again, if you allow teams to get comfortable either in or out of possession with one system, changing it up certainly disrupts them. Another free kick, England onto 2 fouls.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tyler Cook there just left his leg out and Alex Matos obliged.
Jamilari going long into Marko Yanakis. Another set piece for Switzerland. Certainly racking up the set pieces, particularly on that left-hand side. Jamilari going over to take. Jaggi in his left foot, waiting. Another smash across court. Almost a bit of a war of attrition at the moment, those set pieces on that left-hand side.
Yeah, and it's really important on those. We saw it this afternoon, the blocks and the shots. And we saw what happened with Northern Ireland. Just slight deflections that caused them problems, conceding 2 goals.
Liam Powell-Freeman, nice little block to create space for Tyler Cook. And that's something that we've been talking about as a group, trying to stay connected, trying to create those 2v1s around the ball, utilising the opportunity to travel out of pressure as well. Sometimes you can't always pass your way out. Sometimes it's better to travel, to try and create little opportunities to disorganise the opponent. Matos on the ball, Marko Yanakis into Jaggi. Opportunity for England to counter through Jordan Edge. His great pass to Eddie Amorin and just over the bar.
Yeah, he didn't really have a lot of room to work with there, just to try and just get it over the goalkeeper. Maybe if he'd been 2 metres further out, he might just manage to guide that in, but great work from Jordan Edge there to recover that ball.
Fantastic pass from Jordan Edge, just a little bit of an aerial scoop. The ball being a little bit Heavier than your normal football, a little bit smaller. The importance of playing aerial passes, little flicks, little scoops can be quite decisive, almost with Jordan Edge's pass there. England playing as a 4. Liam Powell-Freeman open for a split second. Jeff Adebufor. Pressure from Jalmari. England.
Just interesting to watch Tyler Cook there. There was a little coming together with Marko Yanakis, and Tyler Cook definitely holding his ground there, not afraid to let him know what he thought of it.
Well, he's certainly been trying to develop himself physically over the last 12 months, and you can see that in his game. We all know about his technical game, don't we? But certainly developing physically well. Tempo's just dropped over the last minute or two, and I guess that ferocious first 5 or 6 minutes wasn't going to be able to be sustained. Sloppy at the back there from England. Mental intensity needs to be retained. Another set piece for Switzerland, high up on the right-hand side. Tyler Cook on the counter-attack. Liam Powell-Freeman with the regain. Oh my word! Off the crossbar from Jeff Adebufor, and Tyler Cook over the bar with the second strike.
I think it might have just hit the post and then went onto the crossbar, but some great work from Jeff Adebufor there, Adebufor rather.
Certainly a lot of transition moments in this game for both teams. Di Francisco, sloppy pass out of play. England with their own set-piece opportunity. They've already scored one tonight. And onto the court for a debut, Jack Tyson. Fantastic for him. Charlie Kuhn on for the first time as well, winning his second cap tonight, the Genesis player. England looking for the volley on the weak side.
Again, great work there from Jeff Adebufor there, getting the pressure and acknowledged by Jonathan Sim.
Yeah, been a lot of slides, a lot of physicality in these early parts for both teams.
I was actually watching Jack Tyson in the warm-up, and he actually looked very sharp.
Bearing
in mind he got called up this morning.
Yeah, another player, to be fair to me, he's done a huge amount of work to develop physically, to get a little bit leaner. And straight in with his pressure as well on Di Francisco. Tyson's done well. England not being quite as aggressive, waiting for the mistake, and regain for Adebufor. Jordan Edge with the shot. It's a nice tactical change-up, just mixing up the defensive tempo, just a metre or two deeper, allowing Switzerland to have that first pass before locking on.
And you mentioned that, we saw it this afternoon with Sweden, where their pressure on the ball pressure was slightly off, and then they were getting there a bit too late and then being played around. How important is that when you're working that in training? You're trying to really develop that and understand the space that you're working with and the court, how the dimension of the court can affect that.
Yeah, I mean, something I always talk about, and we talk about as a group, is trying to not defend in no man's land. A lot of coaches will talk about different lines of engagement, line 1 being a very high press, line 2 being between sort of half court and a very high press, and line 3 being at that half court. And sometimes if you're not careful, if your distances aren't quite right, you can just feel like you're chasing shadows. It only takes one player to be an inch or two out of position, and all of a sudden those spaces really open up. And I think from an out of possession point of view, England just maybe just dropping a couple of metres or allowing Switzerland to have that first pass just changes the opportunity from which to regain the ball and go and attack on that transition into more empty space.
Yeah, I think we're going to be entering an interesting phase of the game here, because the game's settled down now. England obviously still 1-0 up, and how they manage these next 4 or 5 minutes against this Swiss defence.
Yeah, it'll be interesting from the England timeout there if anything's changed. Jonathan Sim with almost a fantastic pass into Jeff Adebufor.
What was quite interesting is a few minutes ago you mentioned about Lee and Powell from being in loads of space, and they really did switch off there. I just wonder if that's an opportunity, if they can try and get them to do that again, and bring them in.
And I think that's where they're trying to draw out what we term the fix, but the deepest defender, trying to draw them out short and wide to relieve that space when we attack without a forward player, what we call the pivot, to then go and exploit that space in behind. England back in possession with Tozer. Tozer switching the play to Charlie Kuhn of Genesis. Again, just little moments where England can show a little bit more composure on the ball between Kuhn and Adabufor. Tozer strong in the 1v1 duel on the far side.
I've always thought of Harry Tozer as one of England's most consistent players. You tend to get an 8 out of 10 from him at least every game.
I think one of the reasons he's doing so well is his physical development. He's fantastic. He's always scoring well in our fitness testing, whether that's strength, power, cardio, and that then comes across in the way he's defended. And when Tapio Owens, obviously head coach, wants us to play an aggressive out of possession game, and that fits Harry Tozer. Here he is in the 1v1, winning another regain, finding Richard Ward. Opportunity, and Richard Ward scores the drop down on his return. And England take a 2-goal lead halfway through the first half. And you've just picked on Harry Tozer, a fantastic moment. All his out of possession qualities, regains possession. Switzerland try to dive back in to regain it themselves. The second ball drops down, and Richard Ward, a fantastic moment on his return to England. I think that's his 27th goal, his 65th game. What a moment for him.
Yeah, he's had to get off the floor as well to score that one. It was a fairly decent challenge on him, but he still had to get up, react quickly, and he was first to react. And what a return for Richard Ward.
England need to be brimming with confidence now. Switzerland turning the possession over straight away from the kickoff. Ball from Brooker into Ward. Great securing from Richard Ward. Goldstein into Brooker. So mature for the 20-year-old Jamie Brooker. Fantastic from England. Jamie Brooker, switch of play. Tozer finding Goldstein at the back post. This a fantastic 2-minute spell for England. I was just going to highlight, someone we've not spoken about too much tonight. Jamie Brooker in the fixed position, 20 years old, come up through the youth system with the under-19s, starting to really stamp his mark on the game there in possession.
And again, Harry Tozer with the assist, and Russell Goldstein there with I have to say, a really composed finish, because they're not as easy as they look, or possibly look.
And if there's one person you want at the back post to finish it off, it is Russell Goldstein. He's made a trademark for scoring goals for England like that. I just want to highlight Richard Ward as well. When the games are scrappy at this preliminary round level, he is such a threat in terms of securing the ball for England and being able to bring others into play. Fantastic with him, and the assist from Harry Tozer there. He's not an 8 out of 10, he's a 9 out of 10 at the moment, 10 out of 10 Harry Tozer.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I'm saying that's a minimum he's 8 out of 10, but he's been excellent so far. He's been instrumental in helping England to get these 3 goals. And I think now that, again, this is a big moment here for England to just, again, stay focused, stay on task, and not to let this get away from them like happened to to Sweden this afternoon. Do not get complacent.
Just had a Swiss timeout, Louis. What have you seen, and what do you think Switzerland might be thinking about? There's still a long time in this first half. Futsal can change very, very quickly. What do you think Michu might be saying to his players in that timeout?
I'll just let this attack finish out. Well, I think the first thing is he's a vastly experienced coach. You just have to look what he did with Finland and what he did with them. So I think the first message is not to panic. I think a lot of coaches will look at the scoreboard and say, well, look at the score and add 2 goals onto the opposition, and that's probably a true reflection of what the score, as England have done themselves, scored 2 goals in less than a minute. So I think it will just keep the next 5 minutes. We don't want to concede another goal. and then let's see if we can re-establish ourselves. But at the moment, they've just got to ride this wave of pressure from England out.
Switzerland haven't been able to find the pivot, the forward player, too much in open play. Aranya finds the pivot on that restart from goal clearance. Batiki into the game, number 18 for Switzerland. And so is Ridvan Jamalari, the brother of Sabadin Jamalari, number 19. Ball out of play, back with Johnny Sim. Sorry, kicking on the side with Eddie Amarin. Again, Switzerland adopting the high press. Couldn't find Richard Ward quite this time.
But I think there's a lot of confidence when they're playing up to him, knowing that he's going to make himself available and he wants to receive the ball and he can hold it up to wait for the support to come.
It's gold dust at any level to have a player that can do that time and time again. You can see the mental intensity in his face there. Switch at the first line. Tyler Cook having to chase down number 8, Sabadin Jamalari, gets the shot wide of Johnny Sim's right-hand post. Opportunity here. Oh, for a moment there, Eddie Amarin all alone. Johnny Sim just couldn't pick him out.
Yeah, Switzerland were just totally at 6s and 7s there. Totally disorganised.
I think they're making a substitution. And again, a bit of a golden rule in futsal. Only substitute on your set pieces and restarts, not on your opponents. England back playing in a 4-0 formation, trying to flatten out the opponent. Good pressure from Matos. Tyler Cook only able to play the ball back down to Aranya. Again, England with the pressure, another regain high up. Tyler Cook 1v1 here. Switches the play out to Jake Barnes, the Manchester player. Back to his club teammate, Jordan Edge. Eddie Amarin with the 1v1 play. And I think that's been, certainly a big step forward for England. Eddie Amarin, Tyler Cook's ability in those 1v1 duels, their technical quality shining there over the last couple of minutes. Jamalari. Matos. Ball out of play.
Yeah, I just wanted to draw attention there to Eddie Amarin when he received the ball on the left-hand side and the way he managed to get himself facing forward so quickly. And that sort of technical ability and his laterality, so to speak, about how he can get his body into that shape, and that then doesn't slow the move down.
Yeah, he's such an efficient mover. You can see there, a little outside of the right foot pass. Jake Barnes winning the duel. A fantastic outside the foot pass of his own. Finding his club teammate Jordan Edge, just couldn't cut the ball back to Eddie Amarin. But yeah, coming back to Eddie, he's a fantastic 1v1 player. His ability to open up the hips, to be able to face forward, to play with a bit of disguise. Aranya going long. Johnny Sim heads the ball out of play. Another Swiss kick in from the left-hand side.
I think we've got to give a mention to Jake Barnes there. I think that is the pass of the match there. Faded outside of the foot pass into his straight into his stride.
He's probably finding it usually the other way around. Jordan Edge playing that and Jake Barnes running onto it.
He's a good learner.
England looking pretty confident in the 4-0 here. Tyler Cook. The ability there of England just to run off the shoulder, and there's so many opportunities. If they can just technically tighten up the execution, whether it's from Johnny Sim there or in open play, they're going to get a lot more chances in behind the Swiss defence.
Well, I mean, that's not the first time that Alex Matos has been caught out like that. That's about the third time where a run has been made on him and he's reacted so slowly, and Tyler Cook there just a little bit unfortunate.
Over those bigger distances, the Swiss do seem to just be struggling. In close quarters, they're trying to get that press on very tight, but as the game opens up, those moves in behind are certainly harder for them to track. Lanzendorfer with the kick in. Switzerland making the substitutes. Back on comes Di Francesco. Barnes to Amarin, again in the 1v1 situation. Just there, I was just going to say, Louis, for young players, the 1v1, playing down the line in these situations is such a safe move. Worst thing there you're going to see is the ball being intercepted in terms of it going out of play, rather than always having to come inside. England on the counter-attack. Recovery run from Jake Barnes. Jordan Edge and England on the counter-attack now.
Well, I think there was just so much happening there. Well, firstly, just make sure the Swiss player's okay.
Can't
He's
tell.
got medical attention there, but I mean, Jake Barnes had 2 massive interceptions there to rescue England, and then I think England were complaining about the pullback, and I think hopefully the referees will put that down as a cumulative foul, but they just need to make sure that the Swiss player's okay. Well, I think England's situation at the moment, 3-0 up with 6:11 to go in the first half. I'm not sure what the chat would have been this afternoon about where we wanted to be in the game at this stage, Sean, but if this is close to your game plan, it's pretty much spot on, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, the next 6 minutes they need to dominate the game, continue to be strong in possession. What you don't want to do is become reserved or become a little bit anxious with it. Keep playing, keep trying to play forward, keep your defence. Look, we said about the defensive side of it. The defensive side of it early on in this game, regaining possession back. You have to keep mentally focused around that, and just continue to get a little bit tighter, probably in possession, exploiting that space in behind. They don't have to go crazy in these six minutes. Keep it at 3-0, and it gives them the half time. You can see here when Tapio Owens, head coach, just the opportunity to talk to the players.
Yeah, it's interesting to see him and Richard Ward in conversation. And he certainly seems to be having a lot of success up there as the pivot with the space he's creating. And they almost seem to be affording him that space as well, which I think is a big mistake.
Yeah, and I think, with him and Jack Tyson as well, there's opportunities to keep playing a little bit direct, keep that little bit of variety, then playing as a 4 and taking the pivots out of the game. Number 5, Alex Garcia, seems to be okay after a lengthy stoppage there. Good to see him back on his feet. Looks like it's going to be a drop ball to restart here.
Yeah.
There was almost too much going on in that 30 seconds.
Yeah. that was a very hectic, and that's futsal, I guess.
Yeah, it's certainly been end-to-end on quite a few of the occasions in this first half. Johnny Sim going direct into Richard Ward. A hell of a battle there. Again, Wardy pressing the ball. Switzerland finding the middle, and Jamalari. Jamalari out to Di Francisco. Back into Jamalari. Arpalgas with the shot. Di Francisco with the kick in. Jamalari. Lanzendorfer in the fixed position. A nice little step over from Jamalari. Bit of sustained possession for Switzerland for the first time in this game. Jamalari cuts back in on Richard Ward.
England just dropped a little bit deeper on the cover there, and that allowed them to play out on the left-hand side, Sean.
Yeah, maybe just managing those moments. Again, just coming into that half court, a bit more individual defending there.
And we heard John Tapio Owens there saying halfway line.
Yeah.
And perhaps they're going to just try and manage out these last 5 minutes.
And that goes back to that clarity again in terms of their setup, what defensive line they want to start at. Here you can see them around that half court. Also, puts a bit of pressure on the in possession from a Switzerland point of view. We've not seen Swiss retain possession too much. So again, it throws a new question for them. Richard Ward dropping short. Johnny Sim with an excellent pass. Aranya with the save. Fantastic pass from Johnny Sim.
I mean, Richard Ward, they gave him the freedom of the court there. It was just absolutely no clue where he was.
Another direct run in behind. The Swiss second line struggling to pick up. And actually probably would be a bit disappointed. Brooker short, Adebufor with the shot.
Again, the call's halfway from John Tapia-Owens.
Jack Tyson back on. Tozer winning the... Another ball won. Harry Tozer, take a bow. The reason he gets on the court is because of his out of possession work. Fantastic. But now he's starting games because he's building confidence in possession. Fantastic finish.
Well, Harry Tozer's so good, he's assisted himself now with the goals. He just played a pass to himself off that regain, and England are definitely in very, very good shape here going into the last 4.5 minutes of the game.
England 4-0 up in the opening game here of Group B, FIFA 2028 World Cup preliminary round qualifiers here at Loughborough University, Sir David Wallace Building. 2024 December, England won 5-1. 4-0 up, 4 minutes left in the first half. Juan Tapia-Owens will be pretty happy with that first 16 minutes.
Yeah, I think this is probably about as good as it's been over the last few years.
Ball down the line from Switzerland.
Again, the cover there from Jamie Brooker. They're working tremendously hard. And also it's quite interesting, Jack Tyson, as we said, brought into the squad, but John Tapia-Owens giving him plenty of court time.
Yeah, absolutely. Having that focal point. And again, he's got, in terms of his learning of the game and understanding to play at this level, he's really moved forward, and it's great to see him take the opportunity. Johnny Sim going into Jack. Jamie Brooker just shepherding the ball back to Johnny Sim. Low throw into Jack Tyson. Well secured. Brooker into Eddie Amarin. Tyler Cook on the ball. Opportunity to play in behind. Great pass. Oh my word. Jack Tyson has found Eddie Amarin at the back post with a splitting pass on the diagonal. We've seen 2 or 3 passes like that tonight.
What a first half performance from England so far. We're not going to get too carried away yet, but that was definitely a goal that sliced the Swiss apart. And another great finish from Eddie Amarin.
Another goal for Eddie Amarin. First from a set piece this evening to get us off underway. And now getting on the end of a Jack Tyson diagonal pass to the back post. 5-0, 3:47 on the clock. Switzerland playing a ball diagonally across at the back post. Just need to stay switched on. As you said, let's not get carried away. Need to be professional in these last 3 or 4 minutes. Keep doing the same things. Ball out of play. Again, another great piece of distribution from Johnny Sim.
Yeah, the ball into the pivot is just causing him so much trouble, the Swiss, and they just haven't worked it out.
It's given England a real platform in possession, securing that ball first phase and then being able to mix it up, playing short. They're not able to really get a sort of stronghold over the pivot there, Jamalari, only able to sort of disrupt. England get a kick in, they get court territory. Tyler Cook over the ball, Charlie Coon back on. Quite fascinating here. All these players on court have no more than 2 caps. You've got 1 person on his debut, 3 of them on cap number 2 at senior level. In Charlie Coon, Eddie Amarin, Tyler Cook. Cook and Amarin connecting. Oh, great pass, back post. Jack Tyson could have capped off a hell of a first half for him. Tyler Cook nips inside, takes the shot. Aranya with the save. Rania into Jaggi. England just need to hold defensively here and don't need to chase. Jaggi into Jamari. Into Matos. Back to Jamalari. Charlie Kuhn pressing. The pivot, Marko Yannikis. Kuhn just ushers the ball out of play. A few words being exchanged between Charlie Kuhn and Jamalari.
I don't think Charlie Kuhn was too impressed with the little push into the railings, which are they're more than 2 meters apart, but there's just no need to push him into the railings like that. And I think the referee just telling the Jamari that that's enough, and just telling Charlie to maybe just calm down. But there's just no need for that. But clearly England have rattled them.
Looks like the ref gave a free kick for that as well. Liam Powell-Freeman restarting with the ball on court.
And again, it's that ball, it's either the throw from the keeper or the diagonal ball into that far corner. It's just causing them so many problems, and they, at the moment, just have zero answer to it.
And given the scoreline, you know, the Swiss looking to press and be even more eager to try and win the ball and get up court, it's only going to leave more spaces for England to potentially exploit in the second half. Pressure from Jake Barnes. On number 5, Alex Garcia.
I think probably out of possession, this has been maybe one of the best 20 minutes England have had since the return.
Yeah, and the clarity of it here, like again, not getting caught in no man's land, playing to our, you know, clear out of possession half court principles. And then when they go into the press, again, it just looks slightly different in what we're trying to do, and they're executing it really, really well.
Yeah.
Garcia. Blocked by Jake Barnes. Referee Demon used his arms there. That's the 3rd foul against England in this half. Central free kick for Switzerland. Arpagas over the ball, left-footed, number 17. Strike straight down the middle. Charlie Kuhn blocks. Another Swiss set
I think
piece.
Di Francisco was making that run, wasn't he, to try and just get a little flick at it in front of Kuhn, but Kuhn was on the ball there.
Yeah, trying to stay very close in that D. No space at all for the Swiss players.
And Jake Barnes, he's been excellent out of possession as well. He's won all his battles.
Yeah, as a team this first half, certainly they're 1v1 duels out of possession. Charlie Kuhn almost gets in behind there. Jordan Edge back to Johnny Sim. Johnny Sim engaging into the attacking half. Didn't find his intended target, Liam Powell-Freeman, this time. 1 minute 17 on the clock. The Swiss come forward in Lanzendorfer. Parallel pass from number 17, Arpagas. And another restart. England have got a 2v1 here if they're quick. Jordan Edge. If he'd skipped past Alex Garcia, Jake Barnes would have been free at the back post.
It just appears that Switzerland just lost all organisation and discipline.
Just seeming to lose runners on restarts very, very quickly. Oh! Ball played through by Garcia. Johnny Sim coming out, and I think he's kicked it against, was it Charlie Kuhn he kicked it against? Gone out for a Swiss corner.
Yeah.
What England don't want to give is any type of incentive or momentum in the next 53 seconds.
Yeah,
Futsal is a momentum game, isn't it?
Yeah, you just need to kill the clock here, run the clock down, make it ugly for the last 50 seconds.
flurry of Swiss corners. Di Francisco to take this one. Fires it into the D. England hold firm. And I think the ref's given it as an England ball.
Interestingly, Switzerland have had 21 attempts on goal, 4 on target. England 16, but 8 of those have been in target and 5 of them hit the back of the net.
I think
Pretty good conversion rate.
It is, and I think many of those. Jake Barnes going for the extravagant overhead kick. Another great pass from Johnny Sim, but he's got another opportunity here. Probably just a little bit of a rush of blood in those two moments. I suppose you could forgive him for being 5-0 up, but good opportunity there.
Yeah, there was. It would have been a spectacular goal the first effort, and then the 360 not quite coming off.
Brooker switches the play to Goldstein. Goldstein into Tyson. Back with Jordan Edge. Goldstein playing sensibly. Sim trying to find Jack Tyson. Aranya with the restart. Good save from Johnny Sim. Awkward ball to deal with.
Yeah, it was
Into
dipping
the
and he
boot.
saw it late.
Long throw from Aranya. 0.1 of a second left. This will be fired in from Di Francisco. Ooh, horrible little situation. England navigate those last few seconds. And as you might hear in the background with the PA, England 5, Switzerland 0 at half time.
Well, I thought that was a really decent first half there from England. Probably understating it, but I think that's probably one of the best 20 minutes I've seen from an England team, both in possession and out of possession on the men's side. I'm getting stares here from the England women's team, some of them. But I think overall, Sean, I mean, John Tapia-Owens is going to be extremely delighted with that performance. The players have got to be delighted. And the second half is going to be about being professional. But two great finishers from Eddie Amorim, Richard Ward with an excellent finish. And I think, Harry Tozer has been excellent this half. He's done all the unseen work, but he's very been at the heart of everything England have been doing well.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of John Tapia-Owens and how he'll be feeling, absolutely brilliant. But Switzerland are going to come out. They're going to probably look to do things a little bit differently second half. So England will need to continue to play with the same physicality as they showed. Certainly that first 6-7 minutes was a very first spells were very physical. And then the mental focus, particularly out of possession. As we keep saying, for me the out of possession's been where they've won in terms of that first half anyway. Regaining the ball high up. The likes of Jake Barnes, the likes of Harry Tozer, the likes of Richard Ward, and that's given them a platform to steal the ball, go and get those first couple of goals, and then they started to grow into the game from an in possession. And goal 3, 4 and 5 were some fantastic moves where they're able to slice through the middle of Switzerland and clinically finish the ball off at the back post. So here we are in first game for England in Group B, and the half-time score is England 5, Switzerland 0. Sir David Wallace building for the second half between England and Switzerland here at Loughborough University. Half-time score, England 5, Switzerland 0. Great first half from England, scoring 5 goals without reply from Switzerland. Goals from Eddie Amorim 2, Russell Goldstein, the captain, Richard Ward on his return to England shirt, and Harry Tozer. Louis, what are you expecting from an England perspective at the start of the second half? A really dominant first half performance. What are you hoping to see from England in these first few moments?
Well, I think they just really need to carry on from where they left off in the first half. There's no need to change the game plan. Probably need to look at what Switzerland are going to do. Switzerland changing their goalkeeper for the second half. So I don't know if that was planned or not, but they've decided at 5-0 that the change is going to happen anyway. And I think we've still got 2 minutes. Oh, they've just pushed the clock on now, so we're going to get off a bit early. But I guess one of the options is fly keeper, but whether they're prepared to do that and risk even more goals going in, because the second place, as we just mentioned off air, could go down to goal difference. So some difficult choices for Miko Martic to make. England have just got to make sure that they defend the way they did in the first half, see this out, make sure that we don't get any unnecessary bookings or sendings off or injuries, and get into game 2 tomorrow against Northern Ireland.
So, starting lineup for the second half for England: Johnny Sim in goal, Jamie Brooker, Harry Tozer picked up a goal in the first half, Jeff Adebuffor, and your pivot Richard Ward back in goal scoring ways after a long-term injury. From a Switzerland point of view, as you rightly point out, Edin Ibrahimovic has come in goal for the second half, with Philip Aranya coming out. They are starting with number 19, Jamalari, Ridvan Jamalari, number 8, his brother Sabadan Jamalari, number 11, Hemajili, and number 18, Bitiki.
I think it has to be said that the changed goalkeeper, Edin Ibrahimovic, he's an absolute unit in goal there. I mean, he's absolute massive frame, so it'll be interesting to see what he brings to the game. But it's a big ask here for Switzerland to get this back.
Interesting, only Sabadan Jamalari, the only player from the first half who started, who's going to start the second half. So Michi Martic certainly changing up who's going to kick off Switzerland in this second half. Just waiting for the officials to get us going. Referees tonight from Slovakia: number 1 referee Ratislav Bahancin, number 2 from Latvia Igor Jajevic, third official Antonio Di Mundo from Italy, and our very own Esther Perry on timekeeping duties this evening.
Okay, we're about to find out whether Switzerland can climb this mountain.
And Switzerland get us back underway. England kick in deep in their own half. Jamie Brooker to take. Finds Jeff Adebuffor. Jeff Adebuffor attacking. Finds Richard Ward, left foot shot across goal. And again, a similar picture from the first half. England attacking space, attacking the shoulders of the Swiss players, getting in behind, causing problems. Swiss playing short, then looking to go long.
Yeah, that was an excellent exchange there between Richard Ward and Jeff Adebuffor. Player ran through, and the communication was excellent there to make sure they didn't lose their runners.
Richard Ward back in a battle, this time with Bitiki. Number 18, Jamalari. Imajili up against Tozer, so good in those 1v1 duels in the first half. England returning to that first half press. Hemajali switches the play. And with Ibrahimovic coming on, a nice opportunity for England to really test him early doors.
Yeah, just Richard Ward just needs to stay focused here.
Harry Tozer exchanging on the first line, stopping the return pass. Hemajali. Batiki.
And again, some great organisation there from England just to protect the middle of the court and force the Swiss down the sides or across the court, not allow them to go through the middle.
Another opportunity to find space in behind. You can notice it when the Swiss players are recovering, completely focused on the player, not the ball. And that is a style of defending, whether it's a wall pass or whether it's a diagonal. Okay, I might not stop the ball, but I'm going to stop you in your run. And you could see that there with Hemajali. Johnny Sim under a bit of pressure. England managed to play out. Brooker to Adabu 4. A little bit more care and Tozer would have been galloping down the wing again.
Yeah, it was good work though from Jamie Brooker to bring that under control and get it out to Dubifal.
Ridvan Jamalari tries to find Hemajali in the pivot position, no luck. England with a kick in deep in their own half. Sabadan Jamalari cuts the pass out from Jamie Brooker. An opportunity there, just spins off the back of Tozer's back for a corner for Switzerland. A little brighter start from Switzerland.
Yeah, I think we've just got to be careful that, or England got to be careful not to just play those careless passes and give them any hope.
Hemajali with the volley.
What we don't want, Sean, is England declaring at 5 and then just trying to see out the next 18 minutes.
No, you're absolutely right. They've got to come out again, as we were saying just before the break. Got to play with the same physicality. I think for me, it's the mental focus. Ibrahimovic coming forward. Maybe we might see him play with a little bit more of his feet and try and create the overload for Switzerland. Jamalari, good tackle from Tozer. How many times have I said that this evening? Wardy just caught double team there from the Swiss players. Ibrahimovic not accurate this time. England make 4 changes. Goal scorers, Eddie Amarin comes back onto the court. Jordan Edge, Tyler Cook, Jack Tyson. Another set piece. Tyson, there's an opportunity here to play with Jordan Edge. Switzerland tidy up the play. Ibrahimovic going long. Johnny Sim just shepherds the ball out of play.
Yeah, I think the ball had gone out when the contact had been made, so the referee couldn't give the foul there.
Certainly not the levels of physical intensity that we saw in the first half from both teams. It's a little bit more patient. England opportunity here. Tyler Cook inside Kaji. Oh, and the ball spins to Jordan Edge and somehow doesn't find the back of the net.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of spin in that. He'll be disappointed himself, but good work there from Tyler Cook.
Again, that little bit of a drop of the shoulder, rolls the ball inside. Kaji to get the shot off. Marko Yankidis.
Yeah, I've just seen the replay of that. I'm not quite sure how that didn't go in, but it was another good, as you say, some great play from Tyler Cook to get across his man and then get the shot off.
There was that memorable moment where Jordan Edge against Bosnia, the home game, when was that? Last March, where he ran through, did the Maradona spin, beat 2 players, and he had the goal in front of him. Another opportunity to add to his goal-scoring tally tonight for England.
Yeah, he did score an incredible goal against Wessex, finish from very close range, but I'm not quite sure how he got it over the line, but it was a great bit of technical play.
Tyler Cook to Eddie Amarin, Johnny Sim. Jordan Edge plays into Jack Tyson. Great play, hold-up play from Jack Tyson. Eddie Amarin looking to play 1v1.
It's one of the challenges here because England have been so dominant in this first half, 5-0 up, and something's got to go awfully wrong for England to try and keep their foot on the accelerator.
Yeah, no two halves are the same, you know. When coaches or players talk about just do the same things you did in the first half, well, that's assuming the opponent's going to do the same things that they've done in the first half, which from a 5-0 position, Switzerland would have tweaked one or two things. Certainly not been so gung-ho with their press at the start of this first half. Again, good hold-up play from Jack Tyson. Another forward pass from Jordan Edge. Long throw from Ibrahimovic. Lansendorfer couldn't quite grab hold of it. It runs out of play.
Yeah, and we saw just in that previous attack, we saw a really good 3 in line there from England, just couldn't quite get the finish off.
Oh, England losing the ball short. Elias Kaji with the opportunity.
I think Eddie Amarim acknowledging that with Jordan Edge.
That just comes back to that mental discipline. Goal scored, Eddie Amarin, that completes his hat-trick. Just waited a moment there to see whether the ball actually crossed the line. We had an incident in the first game between Northern Ireland and Sweden where the Swedish players thought they scored a goal and it wasn't given. And Eddie Amarin latches onto the long throw from Johnny Sim.
Well, a real case there of rinse and repeat for England because it was another diagonal ball, beats the left-handed side player, and Eddie Amarim with another clinical finish there, just waiting to make sure the referee saw it go over the line. And England now 6-0 up.
We saw it in the first half, Johnny Sim launching 2 or 3 longer passes, getting players that are running in behind, which has been a theme all game. England defending well with cover. Pal Freeman back to Johnny Sim. Johnny Sim plays safe. Jake Barnes wins the free kick.
That's a clear foul, absolute clear foul. Not a discussion.
Alex Matos leaving a little bit on Jake Barnes, shall we say. I think from my point of view, and I've been mentioning it a few times, the out of possession, I'm loving the attacking play. It's great to see England do this. Really important from an out of possession. We're really strong these next 15 minutes. It's not just about tonight, is it, Louis? It's about the next 3-4 days in terms of playing against Northern Ireland tomorrow, which will be a different prospect, and then going against Sweden, the top seeds, on Friday. And I think sending a message defensively as much as in possession is really important over the course of this tournament. Little loose there from Jake Barnes.
Yeah, we've got the Swedish team just sitting down in front of us. It'll be interesting to know what they're making of it, and the Northern Ireland team. England have been utterly dominant here.
Di Francisco. Number 14, Kevin Jagai onto the court for Switzerland. Jake Barnes picks up the loose ball. Charlie Kuhn, good first touch out of his feet. Pal Freeman into Barnes, who looks for that diagonal again, not this time. The crowd just giving Ibrahimovic a little little spill. Pal Freeman draws out. Matos. Need to still play with a tempo though, England. They don't need to hold on to the ball individually for too long. Play with intent. Di Francisco fires one across the D.
I think the main thing for England is to just make sure that Switzerland have to work very hard for their chances.
Switzerland regain the long ball. Johnny Sim claims the loose ball. Again, England playing as a 4. Goldstein attacking the space in behind, gets behind Di Francisco. And it wins a set piece. Oh, he 41 a set piece. Referee's giving it Switzerland way.
I guess one of the things that the other teams watching this game, they'll be looking at this tactic of England's to use the width down the side, that diagonal throw from the keeper.
Matos into Jaggi. Arpagas with the shot. Ooh. Snuck through, toe poke, wide of Johnny Sim's right-hand post. England making the changes, and once again, restarts. Opportunity to break free. Richard Ward on his own for a split second there, and gives away a bit of a soft free kick on Di Francisco.
I mean, as a coach, that's got to be frustrating when the same thing is just happening and happening time after time, and there doesn't seem to be any sort of solution to it.
Just seem to be a little bit caught on that second defensive line with who's providing that cover. Is it the player tracking, or is it the player providing cover? And England keep exploiting it. Strong press from Switzerland this time. Batiki going into the pivot position up against Adabufor. Ball's played forward, an easy one for Johnny Sim. Sim drops it short to Brooker. Brooker underneath the ball. Switches the play. Good touch from Tozer. There's opportunities there for a little wall pass, little parallels just emerging there for England.
I think they were thinking about the pass over the top. I don't think Adabufor had made the run that he wanted.
And there's that wall pass we've just been talking about. Adabufor can't quite find Wardy. Wardy finds Tozer though. And we've seen Tozer against Switzerland away last year with his left foot. Fire from that kind of distance. This time it goes wide of Ibrahimovic's post.
Yeah, I think he just slightly over-rotated there on the shot. His hips facing just outside the post when he took the shot.
Jamilari to his brother, Ridvan Jamilari. Hamajali losing possession. Tozer finds Adabufor on the left-hand side. And probably is an opportunity here for England in terms of like a long-term development. Just get comfortable with the ball in that attacking third. Start to look for players to find the back post. Set up moves in order to create really good goal-scoring opportunities.
And even though Richard Ward has got his goal, there was just the bit of play just before Harry Tozer got injured, where he just hunted the ball down in his out-of-possession work, and his work ethic there was top class.
And I think that's a big thing through hopefully this journey over the next couple of games against Northern Ireland and against Sweden, to continue to try and build that in possession work. On comes Jack Walsh for Johnny Sim. Jack Walsh, another player who's come through the youth age groups, played at under 19s level, made his senior debut last year.
Yeah, he does seem to have been around forever. But he still looks so young, that's the thing. Or is it I'm just very old?
Harry Tozer, hopefully he's okay. He's just gone off. Goldstein back on. Jack Tyson back on. Batiki on the ball, number 18 for Switzerland. Hamajali. Nice reverses the play to Jamilari. Batiki. Sabadan Jamilari. Nice intricate play from Switzerland, recovered by Adabufor. Oh, and Jamie Brooker fires it across. Not sure Jack Tyson was quite ready for that.
No, it was a great idea from Jamie Brooker, good vision. Don't mind that sort of pass in there, lots of pace on it.
Is that defensive variety again from England, just coming back into that half court, allowing Switzerland to have a little bit more possession. The call there for Follow to play individual defending. Switzerland playing as a bit of a 4-0 here, looking to attack space in behind. Sabadan Jamalari to Bitiki. Nice parallel from Switzerland.
That was excellent defensive work there from England. Switzerland probably made 8 or 9 passes, didn't really take them anywhere, and then it was in the end quite a sort of hopeful shot at the end there.
Brooker switches the play to Adabu4. It's a little sloppy from Jeff. And a half chance for Switzerland. England turning over the substitutions now, trying to retain fresh legs, keep the intensity high, particularly in possession. Pal Freeman back on court. Holds in the middle, great bit of play from Liam Pal Freeman there. Sometimes you don't always have to move. Sometimes moving a little bit less can be a really effective tool there, just stopping between the lines, picking the pass.
Yeah, and that's Jeff Adu before there on that left-hand side. If you've watched Manchester Futsal Club, that's his kind of go-to.
Elias Caddy. Tyler Cook rather happy with that 1v1 defending. And that's the game, there's 5 1v1s on the court. You've got to earn and own your 1v1 duels. Richard Ward back on the court as well. Marko Yannikis, number 9. A little bit loose from Lanzendorfer for Switzerland.
And we've got to remember that, you know, how young Tyler Cook is, you know, and he's here in a World Cup qualification competition.
There's a leader in there as well. When we were obviously with the 19s last year, we made him our captain, and we played him actually probably slightly out of position as a fix, but that was due to the makeup of the squad. And again, starting to show his leadership skills. Needs to stay switched on there. Lanzendorfer just running off his shoulder. Switzerland, nice free in the line pass. Lanzendorfer. Alex Garcia with the flick. Marko Yannikis with the shot. Jordan Edge is away from, and that is a beautiful assist from Jordan Edge. Well worthy of a goal. Tucked away by Richard Ward for his 2nd of the night. And that's England 7, Louis. Switzerland 0.
7th heaven for England. But let's just talk about that work there from Jordan Edge. But even better was the follow-up from Richard Ward. He didn't think that Jordan Edge was going to finish that. He just made sure he got there on that 2nd post. And what a finish that was. What a great goal for England. And it's looking now as though England are going to absolutely walk away with these points.
Again, another 1v1 duel. England coming out top, creating opportunities from it.
Yeah, I think some of the Swedes have seen enough. They're leaving.
Jack Walsh, we know he's confident with his feet, just finds Jordan Edge in between the Swiss players pressing. Don't get sloppy now, England. Liam Pal Freeman plays safe. And I think this is a big 9 minutes for England, and I say this from an overall performance. Play solid, play professionally, play with discipline, out of possession for 40 minutes. Don't get run off your shoulder, Liam Pal Freeman. Well done, Jack Walsh, clearing up possession.
So I guess from here, Sean, that the icing on the cake for England is going to be the clean sheet.
I think it's massive. I think it's massive. Like I said, it's great to see that we're developing our attacking play against the team. Obviously, we managed to win at home in the last round, drew away, but I think they've been much more composed in possession and taking their chances. A lot of that's come from the out of possession work, though, giving them that platform to go and attack.
And regardless of whatever level of futsal you're playing at, a clean sheet is very, very difficult.
Very rare, very rare. Richard Ward turns. Just couldn't get it out under his feet. Lanzendorfer travels back. Tyler Cook. Another recovery.
And that recovery run appreciated by the bench, England bench as well. Jamie Brooker leading the applause.
I was talking to Richard Ward earlier, and he was just happy to be back after such a long time out. I bet he couldn't imagine it would go so well, certainly for the first 31.5 minutes, as he swaps out for Harry Tozer.
Yeah, player of the match is going to be a bit of a dilemma here.
Yeah, I'm glad that's you, Louis, not me.
Oh, sorry, when did that happen?
Tyler Cook, trademark, drags it from one foot to the other to beat Mark Ioannakis. Futsal's a tough game, Louis, and from an England point of view, the journey that they're on, small steps, baby steps. Tonight is a great result, and they've put a few things together. But it's not done here. Jeff Adabufor down the left-hand side. Ibrahimovic picks the ball up, looking for the quick throw. Tozer in behind. Just got to be careful, England here. A few times Swiss players almost doing the same thing that England have done to them for much of the game. Attacking that space in behind.
I mean, regardless of the match situation, I think futsal's one of those sports where the teams will just keep going and going, trying to get a goal, trying to find a way back into the game, regardless of the score, or set themselves up for the next game and getting their behaviours and habits right.
England just getting caught out on the weak side as the Swiss players drive through. Don't want to concede ground or dangerous positions. Number 60, Francisco there with a little bit of a pot shot. Don't want any horrible deflections. Got to stay professional here. England taking a timeout. Maybe John Tapia Owens just recognising that. Just probably want to regroup the players from a mental perspective. Keep the focus, keep switched on.
Yeah, I mean, 7.5 minutes is still a significant amount of time in this game, and you know, obviously England aren't in any danger of losing the game, but you do not want to walk out of the court having conceded 2 or 3 sloppy goals.
No, absolutely, and momentum's key going into tomorrow night's game. One of the things I always say about game one, so obviously Micho Martic there talking to his team at this time out. Remember, 2 teams qualified from this group. We saw a very close game earlier between Northern Ireland and Sweden, just pipping them 3-2 in the final moments. You don't want to give all your answers away, or all the ways of playing. So in terms of, you know, people thinking, will they pull the goalkeeper or anything like that? Maybe, but maybe not. Because looking at the scoreline, they might think, no, it's too much for us. We're going to keep some of our secrets back and wait for game 2 and 3. And that'll be a massive game for Switzerland tomorrow against Sweden as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just looking at the foul count. It's a 1-1, and obviously we had a lot more fouls in the first half. Is that sort of an indication of the physicality coming out of the game as well?
Yeah, and probably just a bit of those physical levels. I don't think England have been quite as aggressive. They've not needed to in the press. And maybe it was a bit of opening day excitement in the first few minutes. Yeah. Both teams just settling into the tempo and the rhythm of the game. England here back in the half court. Number 7, Alex Matos. Bit of a risky touch, gets away with it. Switzerland down the right-hand side. Di Francisco inside. And again, couple of warning signs for England, in terms of that clean sheet.
I think when that ball went into the middle, Eddie Amarin overpressed there and it allowed them to get out, but fortunately he made a good recovery run.
Good decision from Jack Walsh, just going long. Ibrahimovic nonchalantly just knees the ball down into his path. 14, Kevin Jagai back on the court. England regain through Jeff Adabufor. Tozer taking the sting out of it. Just need to reorganise quickly in possession. Eddie Amarin skips past Kevin Jagger. He just lifts the ball with a little flick over the top. Wins the free kick. Breaks a bit of Swiss momentum.
I think he realised there that once the ball was over, he wasn't going to catch him, so decided that as they've still got 4 fouls to use, why not use one?
There'll be a little bit of fatigue, 34 minutes into any game of futsal. Obviously, you're going to be turning the players over a little bit as well in terms of substitutions. But it's really important they keep reorganising themselves in possession. They get in that next position to receive. They're not lazy in this final 6.5 minutes. Good technical excellence, good quality on the ball. Don't give your opposition a sniff. Good talking from Jack Walsh with the press. Jack coming into the game. Finds Adabufor on the right-hand side. 1v1. Go on, Jeff. Switches it back to Jake Barnes. Eddie Adamarin back in the 1v1. This is what we want to see. 1v1 play. Fantastic. Breaks a tackle into Adabufor. That's a little sign for me of where we want to be in the future. Players who can front up in the attacking half of the court consistently. Jeff Adabufor switching the play to Eddie. Both of them playing 1v1. Winning your 1v1 battles in and out of possession.
Yeah, Eddie Hammer in there with 2 1v1s, and then a great stop on the ball, and then Jeff Adabufor arriving on the D, and a great finish there to put England 8-0 up now. Incredible score.
Swiss back in possession. Back on the court, Charlie Kuhn, Russell Goldstein. Jordan Edge, Richard Ward. England won't mind that. Regroup. Swiss kicking. England holding at half court.
England just lost their way a little bit there, didn't they? Just got out past there, but fortunately no damage done.
It's just a little bit of mixed defending there in terms of sometimes following, sometimes exchanging, just again keeping the clarity. Richard Ward in a bit of a battle there. Picks up the loose ball. Goldstein back into Charlie Kuhn. Opportunity to attack space in behind. Jordan Edge tried to find him. Charlie stopped his run.
Yeah, he shouted yes, and then it was a no. Definite run out there. England deciding to just drop half court, maybe have a little bit of a rest as well.
England playing well with cover as they play in the 4-0. Switzerland, you can see Charlie Kuhn just tucked in. And here he is in possession. Don't need to complicate it. Just need to keep the ball speed high. Don't need to search for those passes. Always, again, another thing for young players. You stop the ball at this level, you get pressed. If you roll, move the ball and continue to move it, that manages the defensive pressure. Poor set piece from Switzerland. And equally poor from Russell Goldstein on that occasion. Sorry, Russ, I'm going to have to call that one out. Lansendorfer versus Goldstein.
Yeah, that's good enough there from Russell Goldstein just to see him out.
Turn the pace, ushered him out there. Walsh into Ward. Couldn't quite grab hold of it. Like he was doing probably for the last 30 minutes of this game anyway.
Yeah, I think Richard Ward's had an impressive game today for England.
And I think it'll be interesting if he comes back on after this stint, how long he's been out. Obviously played sort of 6 or 7 games for Genesis this season. It will take its toll on him playing international futsal again for the first time for a while. So
Yeah, I should imagine the recovery period between now and tomorrow evening is going to be crucial for him.
Kaji with the slide tackle. Kaji was certainly happy with the initial tackle, celebrating before the ball had gone out. Richard Ward regains it, and just a little bit of...
Yeah, I don't think Richard Ward had any problem with the first tackle. It was the
second one from Alex
yeah,
Garcia.
Yeah,
I think,
and he just put his foot on it and probably thought better of it, but still deserved the booking.
Just interested in how John Tapir-Owens not seen Harry Tozer for a little bit. I know he went down earlier. Jack Tyson went down earlier. Hopefully those two are okay. Free kick on the right side for England with number 9, Jordan Edge. England free kick, Switzerland onto 4 fouls with 3.5 minutes to go. England back in the 4-0, looking for a beautiful diagonal from Jordan Edge to Pal Freeman. Switzerland regain on transition. Marko Yannikis, the captain. Lanzendorfer fires it to the back post. And Elias Kaji can't quite get on the end of it. End-to-end play there. Pal Freeman, Charlie Kuhn, safe parallel. Switzerland pick it up. Kaji, Lanzendorfer. Jack Walsh stays tall. I don't think the England bench were particularly impressed with Alex Garcia there, firing one towards the
again,
players.
Unnecessary. Just looking at England's stats at the moment, 23 attempts on goal, 11 on target with 8 goals. That is a hell of a return, Sean.
And shooting and finishing, we do in every session. 10, 15, 20 minutes, every session. It's the hardest part. It's the hardest part of the game. And it's something. Look, if you're a club coach, youth level, adult level, whatever level you play at, finishing, shooting every session, different angles, different distances, under pressure, whatever it looks like, so important. And it's great to see England taking some of those chances tonight. Jake Barnes, bit of a needless foul on Alex Garcia there.
Yeah, that's frustrating there with 2:27 to go. And just, you mentioned about the out of possession, just looking at Switzerland's statistics, they've had 31 attempts, but also England have blocked 14 attempts. That is, I can't remember England having that many blocks.
That's great, you know, in terms of, yes, they've had a lot of set pieces, close range, Switzerland, but have been given very little from it by England, standing up strong in those one-to-one duels.
You know, especially what we saw this afternoon against Northern Ireland, or the Northern Ireland team, the 2 goals they conceded from set pieces and not getting the blocks in.
Long throw from Jack Walsh. Tyler Cook almost majestically bringing it down. You got to work on those things as well. Set pieces. It's not always the glamorous parts of the game. It's a tough game. It's a tough sport. Di Francisco on the left-hand side cuts in. Tyler Cook wins the ball back. Finds Jake Barnes. Oh, he just couldn't squeeze the ball to Jamie Brooker at the back post.
Yeah, I think we need to give Ibrahimovic some credit there, because he came out and made himself big, shut the space down.
Ooh. Kevin Jaggi just nipping inside, firing a shot away with his right foot, just outside of Jack Walsh's right-hand post. Again, a long ball that finds an England player in behind. just a little bit messy from an England point of view. Don't need any afters with the opponent. Jeff skips past Di Francisco. And an own goal, number 14, Kevin Jaggi. Another bit of 1v1 play.
Yeah. I mean, England finally got themselves out of there. Excellent ball from Jeff Adu before. Yeah, and I don't think that was on target. I think it may have been going wide, but I think at the moment that's going to go down as a Switzerland own goal.
So, Louis, we've got just over a minute left. From a Switzerland point of view, how are they going to pick themselves up from this tomorrow night? They've got little recovery. They're going to play the early game against Sweden tomorrow. How are they going to assess this, and how are they going to come back in terms of tomorrow? Big game for them tomorrow. Like you said, to qualify, an opportunity against Sweden, as Eddie Amorim almost goes through and makes it double figures.
Yeah, I think it's going to take them a little while to comprehend what's happened to them today, because in the previous 2 games, England have scored 9 goals and they've done it in 1 game. So I think it's really what is Miko Martic's plan? Is it a long-term plan where this is going to have to be one of those development tournaments?
Switzerland.
Is it effectively a playoff final tomorrow between Sweden and Switzerland?
Yeah, certainly a big game.
He's got a lot to think about.
And of course, England taking on Northern Ireland tomorrow evening, another exciting game. I imagine it'll be a little bit noisy in here as well tomorrow night with the Northern Irish fans. There was quite a few of them earlier. Yeah,
they were in good voice for sure. Yeah, it's going to be a very, very different game tomorrow night.
And we count down to the final seconds. And there you have it. Opening game victory in Group B of the FIFA Futsal 2028 World Cup qualifiers here at Loughborough in the Sir David Wallace building. And it ends Switzerland 0, England 9. Your goals this evening: 2 for Richard Ward, 3 for Eddie Amorim, plus 1 for Russell Goldstein, Harry Tozer, Jeff Adabufor, and an own goal. A really impressive display by England from start to finish. And Louis, probably the most complete performance we've seen probably for a little while.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, 9-0. Sean, if I asked you to write down the scores you were hoping for today, I very much doubt 9-0 was on my bingo card. So, but yeah, I think overall, I think the clean sheet is really important as well. And I think, England have got to take great heart from this. They've got, absolute positivity tomorrow against Northern Ireland. And looking at what we saw from Sweden as well today, I think England got to fancy themselves in those games. It is one game at a time though. And, Northern Ireland will pose a different problem. They certainly set up half court against Sweden, and England are going to have to work out that problem, how to do it. But I'm sure that has been part of the plan as well.
So, yeah, we have match day 2 tomorrow. So that will kick off at 3 o'clock with Switzerland and Sweden. And then later on at 7:30, England versus Northern Ireland. And as you see, England top the group on goal difference after game 1, with Sweden in second position, but all to play for. Louis, any final thoughts?
Yeah, well, I think, firstly, the crowd have seen a brilliant performance from England, and so hopefully anyone who's free tomorrow, come down here tomorrow evening, 7:30, England versus Northern Ireland. It's going to be a cracking game of futsal. England have got a great chance to put themselves certainly 1 foot into the next round of this World Cup qualification competition. So get yourselves down here if you can, but otherwise we'll be on the stream tomorrow evening.
And hopefully you'll be listening again, and hopefully you've enjoyed the commentary this evening. Hopefully you've enjoyed the game, futsal, if you're a first-time viewer. And well done, England. 9-0 here in the opening game against Switzerland.
Everybody, what a way to kick off this week here at Loughborough University. The first job that we have got to do this evening is to announce the official player of the match chosen by our stream commentary team. Every game streamed live on the England Futsal YouTube channel, and to be given by England men's head coach John Tapia Owens. Today's player of the match, hat-trick hero number 10, Eddie Amorim. Now that is one of the two presentations we've got this evening. It gets even more special than player of the match, really. I'll just let these guys have their photos. And we have got a very, very special presentation to be made to a player who has made his 50th international appearance for England this evening. Let's hear it, please, everybody, for Liam Palfreyman. Liam, you don't get away. Liam, you don't get away without an interview, I'm afraid. Come on over. It'll be quick and painless, I promise. First of all, you've got that silver cap in your hand tonight. Tell us how that feels.
Yeah, I might get a little bit teary, I think. 10 years of dedication, sacrificing a lot, like living away from my family for long periods of time, and for me, this is what's worth. I'm glad that my hard work's paid off. But like I say, I want to thank my family. Obviously, without them, it's not possible. My teammates along the years. I know I'm getting on, I ain't got long left, so just want to say thank you to everyone, and say we've got a job to do. Let's qualify, that'll be even better.
Yeah, lovely words. Let's just talk about tonight's game, because we've kicked off our qualification campaign 9-0 win. You can see the scoreboard behind us there. No.
Wow, like you say, we knew as a group we're capable of this. You know, the players we've got in this squad now, like you say, people like Eddie, Tyler, Jack Tyson. Like, can we just give Jack Tyson a round of applause? Because I thought his debut, I thought it was fantastic tonight. He's deserved it. Like, I thought he was unlucky to miss out in Germany, so I'm glad he's got his opportunity tonight. And yeah, like you say, like, this sky's the limit.
Let's just do a couple more on your England career so far. We're not calling time on it yet.
How much time have we got?
We've got as long as we need. Don't we? Look, all these people have stayed here to listen to you. Let's start with, what would you say is the biggest challenge for you in terms of playing international futsal for England?
The older I'm getting, the harder it is to play back-to-back games. But like you say, we've got young pups now, so I can just do the dishing it and give it to the runners. So that's how you get through it.
Nice. And we'll finish on a high then. What would you say is your most memorable moment in an England shirt?
Probably last season, hat-trick against Switzerland. We seem to have a thing with players scoring hat-tricks against Switzerland. Edit Tozer, Eddie. So yeah, that was probably my best moment.
Great stuff. Let's hear it one more time. Receiving a silver cap for his 50th appearance tonight, Liam Palfreyman. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out this evening and for your support. Just a reminder, we are back here tomorrow, 3 o'clock kickoff, Sweden against Switzerland, followed in the evening by England against Northern Ireland, 7:30 kickoff. If you like what you saw tonight, you haven't got your tickets yet, get onto the England Futsal website. And if you can't make it, you can watch every single game live on our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for coming out tonight, everybody. Very safe journey home. We will see you for more international action tomorrow.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.